you the explanation of this poem, a photograph. Uh, I told you what all it is about, where the poetess wants to, she shares one incident where she comes across a photograph. The photograph belongs to her mom, where her mom is standing by the seashore with two of her cousins. The cousins, three of them are beautifully dressed up, and they are standing in front facing the camera, right? So the poet talks here about, discusses about how the mother was in the picture. She was really very happy. Perhaps she had gone for a sea holiday. The two cousins seems to be dressed up very beautifully, right? And perhaps they were very curious. They were very desperate to have that photo clicked on the seashore. So they had wonderful memories related to that. And she says that my mother would have missed that moment because the happiness connected to that moment and the incidents connected to that moment, the way the two girls have dressed up, that would have brought that smile on her face. And the poetess also misses something. That something is, the poetess says that she misses her mother because mother is now no more, right? And this photograph was from the period when the girl was not even born. The authoress had not even born. That photograph belonged to that period. Now let me start with the poetry part. Sadik, you have started recording here.
Yes, ma'am.
I cannot see that recording switch here.
But ma'am,
Okay,
I've
fine.
started.
Right. It's there now. Okay, so a photograph. The cardboard shows me how it was when the two girl cousins were paddling, each one holding one of my mother's hands. And she, the big girl, some 12 years or so, I'm repeating it again, and she, the big girl, some 12 years or so, all three stood still to smile through their hair. At the uncle with the camera, a sweet face, my mother's, that was before I was born, and the sea, which appears to have changed place, washed their terribly transient feet. Some 20, 30 years later, she had laughed at the snapshot. See Betty and Dolly, she had say, and look how they dressed us for the beach. The sea holiday was her past, mine is her laughter. Both try with the labored ease of loss. Now she has been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived, and of this circumstance there is nothing to say all. It's Silence Silences by Shirley Tolson. Now, I've just read the content. The content itself is quite clear. What all the content says, it's very easily one could make out. See, I told you that this poem by Shirley Tolson is a detailed explanation, right? Uh, on the authoress when she finds this photograph of a mother with two of her cousins. Fine. Now, there is a word in the first stanza. The cardboard shows me how it was when the two girl cousins were paddling. Paddling here means walking in near the seashore, walking on the seashore. Each one of holding one of my mother's hands. Both the cousins were holding her mother's hands. Now, in these lines, the poet is looking. In these lines, the poet is looking at an old photo album which is made up of cardboard. Now, in the picture, there are three girls who are walking on the beach holding each other's hands. The three girls are, one is the authoress mother, and the other one are two cousins. The girl in the middle is the tallest and the oldest, and the other two girls on each side are younger than her. Right? The girl in the middle is the poet's mother. Poet's mother is around 12 years old when the picture was taken. So it is nowhere told that this girl, this poet's mother, poetess's mother was married. Perhaps it is before her marriage, before her wedding picture, right? So poet's mother was at that time just 12 years old, and two of her cousins are holding her hands, right? Now, All three stood. I'm moving to the further lines. Line number 5 to 9. I'm reading the lines and then I will be giving you the explanation with difficult word meanings, right? But if you have any problem with any of the words and you have the book in front of you, then please, and even if you don't have the book, there is any word which is not understood by you, please write the meaning of that word. All three stood still to smile through their hair at the uncle with the camera. Now, three of them were standing uh, through their hair. I'll come to this. I'll give you the explanation of this. In these lines, the poet describes how the photograph was taken. Her mother's uncle took the photograph and told them to stop and pose. Right? So all three of them left their wet hair open. So because their hair was wet as they were on the seashore. So all three stood still to smile through their hair. Means their wet hair were open and they were smiling at the uncle with the camera. A sweet face, my mother's, that was before I was born. So poetess here says that her mother's face was very sweet and it was before she was born. Now here actually it is not mentioned that whether this girl, whether poetess mother got married at an early age, because it's mentioned that she's just 12 years of age, right? But the poetess was not there. So it may be that she was not even married. Now, all three of them left their wet hair open and smiled at the camera. The poet's attention is drawn towards his mother's face, which is described as a sweet face. Mother's beauty here is described by the authoress as sweet face. The photograph was taken long before the poet was born. So the poet also calls their feet terrible transient. Transient here means short term or temporary, right? Now the feet were called temporary as they were so young by then and now they had grown older because a 12-year-old girl and the other two girls were more younger the poet's mother. So their feet were transient, means they were temporary. At that time they were small feet, they were children, right? Now they had grown older. And the other meaning here is because they were standing on the seashore which touched their feet, the feet has changed less. You can also say temporary because of the sea waves which were coming, so the imprints which were made there on the sand, they were temporary, right? Am I clear with the line till line number 9? Guys, please show me a thumbs up. If there is any problem, you can question me, any doubt. Please revert back with a thumbs up if it's clear to you people. Okay, Nilima, I've got a thumbs up from you. Others? Ma'am, kindly repeat the last line. Okay, Riddhi wants me to repeat the last line. Riddhi, I'm repeating it once again. Okay, Tanisha also wants to repeat the last line. I'm repeating the last line. First of all, I'm reading the lines again so that it's clear to you. All three stood still to smile through their hair at the uncle with the camera. Now, three of them were standing in front of the camera, which was held by the uncle. Now, a sweet face, my mother's, that was before I was born. These lines are also, I hope, very clear. The mother had a very sweet face, and this was before the poet was born. And the sea, which appears to have changed less. Now, the sea, which has not changed much, right? So, the sea has not changed much. Watch their terribly transient feet. Now, terribly transient feet. Transient word here means short term or temporary, right? This line you have a confusion. See, here the poetess says that the sea has not changed much. Now, this thing I discussed with you people in the explanation yesterday also, that mountains, seas, rivers, this remains as it is for ages, right? But people come and go. Humans or creatures, living creatures on this earth, we all are mortal. We are subjected to death. One or the other day, we will surely die, right? So, but these people, these things, mountains, rivers, they do not change. They do not change. So the author says that in the picture, what the sea is appearing, how the sea is appearing, it doesn't appear to have changed much. Which appears to have changed less, the sea has not changed. The sea washed their terribly transient feet. Transient means temporary. Here the feet are called transient or temporary because of two reasons. First reason is that because they are that these young girls, they are small, they are children yet, right? The eldest girl out of them is of 12 years of age, who is poet's mother. So their feet are comparatively very small. So they were temporary because now their feet have grown bigger as they have now grown old, as now they have grown ups. Now they are grown ups. Now they are not kids anymore, right? That is one reason why the feet are known as transient. And other reason feet are also known as transient because the feet are on the sand, right? And we know if you're standing on the seashore with our feet imprinted on the sand, feet के हमारे imprints आ रहे हैं sand पे, तो वो temporary होते हैं, they are transient because they'll be washed away by the sea waves. That is the two meaning. That is the two meanings I've given you. These are the two meanings I've told you for the last line. I hope am I clear with the last line? Tanisha, Riddhi, I've got a thumbs up. Tanisha, is it clear to you, dear? Okay. Fine. Chale. So let me continue with the text further then. Now this was line number 5 to 9 I have explained. Now I'm coming to line number 10 to 13, which says, some 20-30 years later, she had laughed at the snapshot. See Betty and Dolly, she had say, and look how they dressed us for the beach, the sea holiday. Right? This is line number 10 to 13. 10 to 13 says that after 20-30 years, 20-30 years later, snapshot means photograph or the picture which was clicked. Now, after 20-30 years later, the mother would laugh at the photograph. That is what poet is imagining. That is her imagination. That maybe that after 20-30 years later, when this picture was clicked, after 20-30 years, the mother would laugh at this photograph and she would tell me to look at her cousins, and she would have tell to her daughter, to the authoress, that look at her cousins, Betty and Dolly, and how their parents would dress all three of them for the beach. That how their parents dressed them up for the beach, for this visit to the beach or for that holiday to the beach. They would have planned to take a photograph beforehand, and maybe this photograph was planned prior to this visit, right? So basically what she's talking about, like it generally happens with each one of us also, our parents, our grandparents, they show us their pictures, their photographs of their youth, of their young age, or their visits, or of the marriages, the important occasions, right? And they tell us, this was the time we did this. And they show that relativity, that connectivity at that time, how the situations were, what happened. The same thing the poet is discussing here, that 20-30 years later, the mother would laugh at this photograph and she would tell me to look at the cousins, Betty and Dolly, and how their parents would dress all three of them for the beach. And they would have planned to take a photograph before this visit. Next time, coming to line number 14 and 15. Beta, please, once I complete these lines, you need to show me a thumbs up so that I can move forward. Right? If it's not clear to you, please give me a message in the chat box so that I can repeat that section. Is it clear, guys? Any doubt? The last lines which I have explained? Hari, please do not take that much time. Show me a thumbs up. Vidyanshi, I've got one from you. Aryan Bansal, no ma'am. Aryan Bansal, what is not clear? It's not clear, or you don't have any doubt? Aryan, just tell me you want to repeat something. Clear, no doubt. Okay, Aryan is saying no doubt. Anybody who is having a doubt, give me the message, right? And please ensure that you are showing me a thumbs up once I clear all the lines to you. Okay, continuing further. Now I'm coming to line number 14 to 15. 14 and 15. Was her past, mine is her laughter. She says this photograph which is being taken, that photograph which was clicked, that was her past, and mine is her laughter. Both wry with the labored ease of loss. Now there is word as W-R-Y, wry. This means ironic or mocking. Now the photograph, the poetess says that was her mother's past, where she's very happy, she's having a good time. And for the poetess, her laughter was a good time. Laughter was her past, because she finds her mother very happy in that time, right? So that's a very sweet photograph for her, where she can see her mother in that elated, in that very cheerful mood, because maybe she's on a holiday with the cousins or she's enjoying herself. So she can find that uh, sweet, pleasant smile of her mother, which she cannot see right now, right? So that is her past. Both try with a labored ease of loss. Both are mocking. The poet recalls the sea holiday was a mother's favorite moment from the past. That is one point. Second, the poet's favorite moment from the past were a mother's laughter, because she finds a mother in that elated mood, in that cheerful laughter. So that is the favorite past of the poetess. Now, both the women would think about those past memories which they cannot live again. So she says that both of us, the mother and the daughter, we may be thinking about the past memories which we cannot live again. They tried their best to adjust to what they have lost. Both try with the labored ease of loss. Both are ironic, or they are mocking, means they are trying to ease out their pain of what they have lost. Right? I hope I'm clear. Okay. Now coming ride, meaning I've given you WRY means ironic. Now coming to the next lines, line number 16 to 19. Now she has been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived. And of this circumstance, there is nothing to say at all. It's silence, silences. Now, this stanza is very important from RTC point of view, and several times this stanza has been there in the examination also. So please listen it very carefully. Now she has been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived. Now, in the above lines, the poet says that a mother died 12 years ago. You remember in the beginning of the poem, the poetess informed that in this photograph, the mother was 12 years of age. So it is almost now 12 years that mother has died. Now the mother is no more. The same age her mother was in the photograph, right? So whenever the poet thinks of a mother's death, right, she cannot explain what effect she has of her mother's death. And of this circumstance, there is nothing to say at all. Means she is so overwhelmed with emotion, with pain, that whenever she thinks of her mother's death, she cannot explain that effect upon her of her mother's death. Death has silenced her mother, which has also left her speechless. This last line is very important. It's silence silences. Silences here means a complete absence of sound, right? We understand when we say silence, it means there is no sound at all. Now, there are two silences referred in. It's silence silences. The first silence means the silence which death has brought. Death has silenced her mother. That is the first silence. And the second silence is where they talk about that because of that silence which death has brought to her mother, that has also made the poetess silent. Means that has left her speechless because of the pain. Right? These lines are very important. Am I clear with the last stanza, the last line especially? If any doubt, you guys want me to repeat it, I'll repeat it once again. Please revert back. Guys, revert back in the chat box. I'm waiting for your messages. No doubt. Dhruv Bansal, please recap. Okay, Dhruv Bansal wants me to recap. So let me recap it once again. See, first of all, I'm reading these lines. Once the lines are clear to you, then only you will be able to do the paraphrasing. The lines are, now she has been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived. In the beginning of the chapter, I told you people that the age of the poet's mother in this picture is of 12 years. She is a 12-year-old girl. So now the poet says that what was her age at that time? Now it has been so many, the same years have passed. when she is dead now. Means जितनी एज की वो उस पिक्चर में दिख रही है उतने ही इयर्स पास हो चुके हैं उनकी डेथ को, right? That means it's around 12 years that she is dead now. And of this circumstance, there is nothing to say at all. And of this circumstance, that is of a death, the poet says, I have nothing to say at all, because she's talking about a mother's death. So she is so much carried by emotion. She's so much grief stricken. She's feeling so much pain in her heart that she has nothing to say at all. Right? Now, the last line, which is very important, it's silence silences. I told you the word silence simply means when there is no sound, right? It's completely quiet. That is silence. Here, both these two silence have different meaning. The first silence means the silence which the death has brought to her mother, right? And the other silences means that because of her death, because of being silent, the silence which death has brought to her mother, the poetess, because she is the daughter of the dead one, she is also quiet, she is speechless, she is so much grief stricken, she is having so much pain, she is so much sorrowful that she is completely silent and she cannot say, she has nothing to say all about it. Dhruv Bansal, am I clear with it now, beta? Am I clear with it? Okay. Anybody else who's having any doubt with any of the lines? See, for poetry part, okay, Kushi, I've got a thumbs up from you, dear. For poetry part, it's very important for you people to read the poem. So please, the content is available on the net, on the CBSE site. Go through the poem very carefully. And still, if you guys have any doubt, tomorrow I'll be taking a recap session of this poem and of the question answers. So tomorrow again I will discuss. Karan is saying, ma'am, second para, last line. Okay, I'm just having a glance. Just a second. Second para, last line. I'm coming to that. See the first line number 1 to 4. The cardboard shows me how it was when the two girl cousins went paddling, each one holding one of my mother's hands. I hope that was clear to you. Second para was all three stood still to smile through their hair at the uncle with the camera, a sweet face, my mother's, that was before I was born, and the sea, which appears to have changed list, washed their terribly transient feet. Terribly transient feet, I have already told you, Karan, it is related to, see, three of them were standing, facing the camera, uncle was holding the camera, mother was smiling, she had that sweet face, and that incident is referred before the poet was born. Now, sea has not changed much, but the sea washed their terribly transient feet. Terribly transient means, transient word means temporary. Now here feet is temporary because as they were children, so their feet were smaller at that time. Now the feet have grown older because now these girls might have grown up, right? The other important thing, it is called transient because the feet are on the sand near the seashore, on the seashore. So obviously we understand the imprints are, and please wait, the imprints on the feet are, transient, temporary, because the sea waves will be washing them. That is the reason it has been called as transient. The word transient means temporary. Aaron, you want me, Karan, am I clear with this stanza, please? Please show me a thumbs up or just give me a message in the chat box. Karan Arya, I cannot see you. Darshika Jain, 15 line. Just a sec. 15, line number 15 you are talking about. 10 to the, okay. 15th is, 14 and 15 lines are, was a past, mine is a laughter. Excuse me. Both rhyme with the labor deeds of loss. Wry, ironic, mocking. Wry, I told you, is the meaning of word wry is ironic or mocking. Now, 14 line is, was a past. The photograph was a past and mine is her laughter. Here, past refers to good memories, right? Beautiful memories. For the poet's mother, that photograph was a lovely memory because it was a holiday photograph, right? And for the poetess, mother's laughter was a beautiful memory because now her mother is not with her. Now both are ironic because both these do not exist anymore. Because the poetess mother is not living anymore, she is dead now. So her smile, her laughter is now not there. And because she is dead, so obviously poetess is also not happy. So the word wry is used here, which means ironic. With the liberties of loss, they're trying to mocking at this because of the cope up with that pain. They're trying their best to adjust for what they have lost. To make up their loss, they're trying to adjust. That is the last line, what it means. Guys, we are going to time is about to end up soon. So if you have any, Dushyant ma'am, please repeat 12th line. Guys, the poem is a bit difficult. Unless and until you read it properly, you will not be able to understand it. That's why I'm telling you, please go through that CBSE link which I have provided. Otherwise, the poems and everything, they are available online also. Line number 14, Dushyant, you are saying? Line number 12, I believe, right? So 12 was some 20, 30 years later, she had laughed at a snapshot. Then this is, I'm reading from line number 10 to 13, which says that some 20, 30 years later, when the picture was clicked 20, 30 years later, she laughed at the snapshot. The mother would have laughed at this photograph. Snapshot means photograph. And she would have told this thing to her daughter, see, this is Betty and Dolly, and how they had dressed up, how their mothers have dressed up for their beach holiday, for the sea holiday. Right? That is what it means. So I've done the 12th line also. Anybody else? Any problem? Okay. I think, Sadik, how much time are we left with?
I'm 2 minutes approximately.
Okay, 2 minutes. Though we don't have much time. Tomorrow again I'll be discussing the question answers, the long ones and the short ones. Meanwhile, I just want to tell you what are the various figures of speech, various poetic devices used in this poem. There are a lot of poetic devices used there. As the last line itself says, silent silences. Guys, can you tell me, we have done poetic devices since class 9th, we are doing it. And I have done good amount of them with you people. So what are silent silences? Can anybody give me in the chat box which poetic device is used here? Darshika, please switch on your mic. I want this reply from you. Darshika Jain. Hanji, which is the poetic device used here? Chirag, I've got the answer. Darshika, you are still in dilemma. Chirag has given me alliteration. You remember Betty Bought Butter? Darshika, do you remember Betty Bought Butter? I did with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Hanji. So Lavanya Jain is also saying alliteration. So obviously where the first initial letter is repeating again, there it is alliteration. Now there are other literary devices are also used here. Tomorrow when we'll discuss about these, I want you people to go through the poem, take out the difficult meanings if there are any. If you want to ask anything, come back to me tomorrow again. That, ma'am, I have a new spiral register. May I start my work in that? Yes, Radhika, you made your. You can start in that. Sardik, our content is over here.